Welcome to another edition of Transform Your Life. Today, I wanted to talk with you about values because I've been thinking a lot about them and realizing their incredible importance, and I want to help make you aware so that you can benefit from this knowledge like I have. You know, I used to think of values as something important and interesting, and as an adult, about, every 3 to 5 years, I would go online or go somewhere and take a values evaluation inventory. And I always found it meaningful. I always found the information interesting. But it wasn't until fast forward, now here I am, over 30 years, helping people as a mental health therapist and a life coach. It wasn't until all those decades that it has become screamingly evident to me that values, understanding and knowing what our individual values are, is critical for our overall health, well-being, and happiness, especially when it comes to relationships. So let me talk a little about this and why I think that this is so important. Our values individually, we all have them, and they are our kind of subconscious compass, if you will, rudder. They subconsciously kind of steer us in particular directions in life based on what our top values are. And this influences everything. And so it's really important that we know what these are. The other reason it's so important is because when we get into relationship, especially an intimate relationship with someone that we want to partner with, it's important to know what our individual top values are to make sure that they're not in conflict with each other. And I can tell you, after decades of working not only with individuals, providing counseling for them and life coaching, I do couples counseling as well. And many times I see couples who come to me with lots of problems in their relationship, long-standing problems, and it turns out that their top values, their individual top values, are in conflict with each other. Conflict. Not different than each other. I mean, it's fine to have differing values. Most of us do. But if some of our particular top values are clashing, are conflicting with our partner's top values, it can present long-standing problems. And that's where I see people who come to counseling for me. So I see it over and over and over again. So I thought I'd do this episode for you on values and why identifying yours is so important. So the thing I would recommend to do, it's really easy to identify your top values. It takes time and you want to treat it seriously. This is not a, let's have some fun and entertainment kind of exercise to do. No, this is very significant in terms of your life and answering who you are internally and what's really important to you. Okay? So the first step in doing this is designate at least a half an hour of time, preferably an hour if you can carve it out. But make sure that that time you are in a quiet, undisturbed location. For heaven's sakes, turn off your cell phone. If you only turn down the ringer, turn it off the ringer, if you only do that, take the phone and put it across the room so that you cannot see it. You want to be totally focused on doing this exercise. You want a couple pieces of paper, a pen, and you want to have access to a printer. And before you do the exercise, make sure that you have a computer for your resource base. Because what you're going to do, it's very easy. Just go to Google and type in lists of values. And you want to go to at least 2 to 3 different sources. Now, what you're looking for is just a list of words, value words, okay? You're not looking for something that says exercise in how to find your values. No, because I'm going to describe that for you here. What you're looking for is the actual words. Like some value words would be things like kindness, love, security. Let's see, what else? Faith, optimism, courage. Those are some values. And there are hundreds and thousands of them. So you want to go to sources, get just the lists of words. And then from 3 different sources, print out the lists of words. There's usually, like 1 or 2 pages of words, maybe 3 at the most. And have those with you and bring them into your undisturbed spot. Close the door. And what you're going to do is just simply read down the list of words, one list at a time. And you don't want to overthink this. This is just relaxed, informal, easy. So take a look at the words, and as you're going down the list, just circle the ones that call out to you as being one of your current values that you can demonstrate that is, in fact, your value. In other words, you don't want to make the mistake in this exercise of circling the value words that you hope or would like to aspire to. No, you want to circle the ones that are already values of yours. And that if someone was to kind of evaluate your daily life, weekly life, yearly life, they could easily see that, yes, that is a value of yours. Okay? So go down, circle those. Don't take long on any one of them. Don't overthink them. Just have fun with that part of the exercise. Okay? Then that's the end of step 1. Step 2 is you're going to go back after you have all these circled words. And there might be duplicates on each list if you're getting them from 3 different sources. That's okay. And you're going to look at the circled words and you're going to pick 10 out of all the ones you've circled. Which are the 10 most important values to you? Ones that you want to make sure you retain. You think they're important. Okay? That's step 2. Step 3 becomes a little bit harder now. You're going to pick 5, just 5 of them. And when you're doing this, a good way to try to narrow it down is to take each word and compare it with each other word and ask yourself, if I could only live with one of these values in my life, which one would be most important to me? Okay, you do that with each word. Narrow it down to 5. Next step, put them in order. This is when it's really, you want to take some time doing this. okay? This is when you really want to compare. If I only had one, which one would I choose? Which one would be the top? And lastly, you want to come to your top 3 in order. So in that last step, make sure the top 3 are in order. Take the extra time to look at that. Okay? That's how you end up with a list of your top 5 values, but especially your top 3. All right? Make sure to do this in the exact order that I gave it to you. Don't skip any of these steps. You may come out very surprised at some of your answers, especially if you haven't done this before. Or it may affirm to you what you kind of already thought that would be a value of yours or your top values. But in either case, it's important information to have, and it will become increasingly important to you as your life progresses, especially when it comes to being in relationships with people. So let me give you an example of a conflicting value combination. As I said before, having differing values with your partner is absolutely normal. But what can happen is if you have values, top values, that conflict, that can be a problem in your relationship. And I see it over and over and over. So let me give you an example. Let's say you have a partnership, 2 people. One person, their top value is security, okay? They like to take time making decisions. They don't like to jump into things. They don't like spontaneous types of decisions, especially when it comes to important topics in their life. They're not high risk takers because security is important to them. All right? Imagine that their partner turns out that their top value is freedom. That's a person that likes to take risks, does take risks, likes to be spontaneous, likes to make quick decisions, likes to sometimes fly by the seat of their pants, so to speak. And when these 2 kinds of individuals get together in a partnership, it can be a problem because those 2 values of conflict will show itself. Now, whatever your values are in a relationship, you're not going to see direct evidence of them for quite a while. In fact, in the very beginning of a relationship, when we're consumed with all the chemicals going on in our body and we're in love in that phase, and we're always putting our best face forward for the other person, it doesn't matter then. You won't see value differences become an issue, and you won't see conflicting values arise during that period. But after things settle in, especially after about a year or so, and we start presenting our true selves to each other, that's when you're going to start to see some problems in a relationship that has 2 people with conflicting values, okay? And like I said, I see it all the time in couples who come to me for marital or couples counseling. So, and we work with it. But the message of this particular episode today is to know what your individual top values are. I think you'll find it really meaningful time well spent, and you can take this information and utilize it and think about it forever going forward. I hope this is helpful. I hope you try this exercise, and find it as meaningful as I have. And I think you'll see evidence of this throughout your life and currently and into the future. See you next time.